What up, YouTube? Okay, I got a question, and the question was, how do you self-reflect? I have been on record saying that we need to self-reflect more, and truly understand what's going on with how we think. We can ask people for advice and, read this book and watch this video, but at the end of the day, what we need are more black people to self-reflect on what they're doing. So how do you self-reflect? It's simple, okay? The first step is to tell yourself that you fucked up. I messed up. Where did I mess up? How many times did I mess up? Right? You are not perfect. So the first part in terms of self-reflecting is understanding that you aren't perfect and that you have made mistakes. Real mistakes, not the whole, oh, I made a mistake because I was too caring, or I was too generous, or I was too nice. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about one of those statements of, guilt that makes you feel better. Right, my mom used to say it to me all the time. Right, it's my fault. I was too caring. I was too nice. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about true. I messed up. I said this when I should have said that. I ended this here when I should have worked it out. Or I called somebody out of their name. True. I messed up. Now, that process will take some time. Okay, because there will be other people involved. I've had my moments of self-reflection, where I tried to say that it was my fault, but when I really broke down what happened, it wasn't. Then on the flip side, I've had situations where I definitely felt it was somebody else's fault. But after self-reflecting, I realized that it was my fault. Truly my fault on something I didn't do. Right? And I was only able to do this because I was willing to accept the fact that I'm not perfect and that I mess up. Now I'm a human being. And then that's it. So once you start, it's like a snowball. Once you get over that initial acceptance of you messed up and you did something wrong, it will snowball because you will think about all the different things that have happened in your life. Things you could have did better. Right? So, just think of any issues you've had with, or a misunderstanding that you have had with somebody else, and ask yourself what happened and what went wrong. What did you do? What could you have done better? But understand that you did mess up. That's the thing. So in a way, you're almost looking for something because you're not perfect. Oftentimes people try to self-reflect, but they don't want to deal with the whole idea that they may have been wrong. Right? So they'll try to, how can I put this? Misremember or re-remember certain things to make them seem like they are the victim and, they did nothing wrong. And that's the problem. And it's everything. Like I said, it's a skill. Once you get used to it, you will go back and you'll think about all the major and minor things that have ever happened in your life. And you'll ask yourself, what role did I play? And like I said before, sometimes you may have not had a role. Right? Something bad may have happened to you and honestly you had nothing to do with it. Right? But there will be times where you had something to do with it. There will be situations that you have written off and you have said it wasn't my fault. But once you prepare yourself to understand that you can make mistakes and you're not perfect, you will go back and you will revisit what you did. Right? It's almost a gift and a curse. Right? It's a curse in the sense that you can take lessons from all the things that you did wrong, but the curse is that you're always doing it. Every last little thing, every argument, every situation that went wrong, you're always asking yourself, what role did I play? Right? And honestly, that's it. That's how I got to where I'm at, to be real with you. Well, it wasn't anything special. I just reached a point where, in my life, things weren't going according to plan. And you can only place so much blame on other people, really, before it starts to get stupid. Right? You sit down and you think about everything that's happened to you. And it's like you're honestly sitting there telling yourself that I had nothing to do with it. It's just, unlucky for me. Right? So your whole life, you've done nothing wrong. It's just other people have done you wrong. It sounds foolish, but there's people out there who feel that way, or who don't want to accept guilt, and they'll say some bullshit like, I made a mistake because I was too nice, I was too caring, I was too generous, I was too forgiving. That's not real self-reflection. That's not real ownership of what you did wrong. It's tough. It's not easy, right? Especially if maybe that problem is still going on. So even then, maybe start with something that happened before. Start with something that happened in the past, right? And like, it's hard because sometimes you have to deal with issues that you thought you put away, you wrapped up in a box, and you put it out for the garbage man to collect, right? But anyways, in closing, this is how you self-reflect. Okay, it's a journey, it's a process, right? You can't turn it on and turn it off. Once you understand how to self-reflect and take ownership of what you did, it will follow you. Every last little issue, you will break it down, and it can get annoying, but at the end of the day, you learn from it because you figured out what you did wrong, and you figured out what parts you played. And I'm not saying that you have to create certain things that you did wrong just because. You will self-reflect. You will go over problems, and there will be problems that it was not your fault. You had nothing to do. Simple as that. But there'll be things that you played, part of the problem. So maybe you were half as, responsible. And there will be things that you said, I had nothing to do with it. But in reality, you were the cause of that problem. And the only way you can start this process is if you are just willing to say, I'm not perfect, I messed up. Right? Regardless of my environment, regardless of the people around me, regardless of my mother or father or whoever not being there, I messed up, and that's on me. That is on me. I have to own some of the shit that I did wrong. And it's as simple as that. There's no other way around it. No counselor can help you do this. And mind you, I'm getting into counseling and the whole psychology thing. Right? There's no substitute for you as a person making that choice to accept that you are not perfect and you did wrong. Right? It begins there. Now, people can help you, but honestly, there's nothing anybody can do except for you to say, I'm going to take the first step and accept that I'm not perfect and that I have did things wrong and I will do things wrong. Not purposely. Maybe purposely, maybe not purposely, but we're just people. Right? We sometimes we can't conquer our emotions in the manner that we think we can. So anyways, I think I put it out there. You guys take it easy. Tell me how you feel. God bless.